What up? Jeff here with all my Bitcoin renegades. And today we are here with two amazing ICP influencers and two of the biggest bosses in the space. Let's start out and let them introduce themselves. We'll start out with Victor. Just say what's up and let them get to know who you are.
What up, Bitcoin Renegade gang? My name is Victor, ICPSquad. I'm with Dfinity Community. I'm the social media manager and also make videos. So nice to be here. I'm so happy. We had Bitcoin Renegade and Six Figs as a guest in our show last time. So I'm really excited and happy to be here on your channel today, Bitcoin Renegade. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm Six Figs, and I'm a big ICP enthusiast. Do a lot of videos covering the ecosystem, price action, stuff like that. I also like a couple other coins. Just started doing some writing for fastblocks.com, build on the blockchain of ICP. So I'm pretty excited about that whole venture, stuff like that. Really, that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm addicted to Twitter, and now I'm here. So yeah, man, it was great to get back together with all of you guys. I'm gonna have you all on my show the next go around.
That'd be let's split it evenly, like each turn take turns. I mean, as much as we can, right? So yeah, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. I know you guys have met Six Figs before, but I kind of wanted to introduce, Victor and get to know Six Figs again. So what we're going to talk about today is something that I think is not talked about enough in the space, and that the ICP space. Now, in the crypto space and in general, it's a huge topic of discussion. Now, what we're talking about is the centralization versus decentralization of a crypto. And tonight, we're especially going to be talking about ICP and how that pertains to a tweet that was made from Tonic Lab CEO Bob Bodily. And he puts up a lot of good, interesting points. And I'd like to see these two gentlemen's opinions and hear what they have to say about it. And I will give my opinion as well on the situation. So I'm just going to share the screen. I'm not 100% sure what this is going to look like with all of us here. Okay, it'll just put us there. Cool. So over here on Twitter, the first thing that I want to talk about is the number one thing that he said here. First, let's go to the tweet. He says, I think ICP will be a top 3 coin, but to get there, we have a ton of work to do. Here are the top 20 problems we need to prioritize to solve to build a better future for the IC. And I want to take a look at the top one here. It is talking about node providers are too centralized. The node provider application process is too long or slow. Once anyone anywhere can be a node provider, then we will truly have a decentralized worldwide computer. Now, I have two different looks on this right here. The very first thing that I want to say about this, let's get back over here, is that not anybody can just be a node provider. That's the thing. I do agree that we do need more node providers, but the thing is, to be a node, you have to be active on the network for a certain amount of time per day, because your job is to basically ensure that that network runs properly. So if you're talking about letting everybody become a node provider, then it's going to mess up the system, because a lot of people aren't going to answer transactions. They're going to be too busy. But what I think we need to concentrate on is having more active node providers that can actually do what they're supposed to. So this is kind of a double-edged sword, in my opinion. Yes, we need more node providers to make it more decentralized and get away from just like, a central focus, right? But we also need to do it in a way that is going to have active nodes that can be, contributing to the consensus every single day. And that's where we run into the problem. Not everybody has 10 hours a day that they can spend on doing that. So do either of you want to talk about that and how you feel about that, or what your outlook is on that particular situation?
Six Figs.
Yeah. I'll give my my 2 cents on that. I agree with them to a point where it would be nice to be able to make it more easily accessible. If there's somebody out there that thinks that they have what it takes to become a node provider, I think they should at least have a shot, no matter how big or small they are. You did mention some limitations, like the amount of time that they'll have to spend online, things like that. I'm not the most tech savvy when it comes to how these nodes operate, things like that. But I do agree that it should be open to as many qualified people as possible to run a node, to get that decentralization. I mean, they've got what 1,200, 1,300 nodes running right now. Is that right?
Fake news. Donated $10.
So, oh, really?
I think so.
We'll have to split that somehow.
Yeah, we're splitting that 33% between all of us. So, I mean, I don't know. How little is too little? How many is too many? Obviously, the more the merrier, I think, in this case. But yeah, I tend to agree with that statement.
I'm going to be straight up honest. What caught my attention with the Internet Computer was one of the tweets Dominic Williams himself posted a while back. Now, there hasn't been much attention brought to that, and I wouldn't say it was a promise, but he kind of hinted at the creation of what he called the Badlands, right? Either a sister network or an extension of the ICP network that lets anybody, and these are his words, and I'm not perfectly quoting, but somewhat quoting. He said anybody with a device as small as a BlackBerry, a Raspberry Pi could run a node, right? So do I want it that decentralized? In a way, yes, because I'm a crypto enthusiast, right? I want the people to own the nodes, not just rich people or not just friends of the organization or people who got there first, but just anybody. When Bitcoin first came out, anybody with a computer could run a node, right? That was, I think, the point. Like a network that runs on everybody, right? Nowadays, you need ASIC miners, and the complexity went up, and this and that. But when Dominic announced that, that caught my attention because that also was one of my main concerns. So the argument is something like this: you get more speed, and it's more fine tuned when it's a little bit more centralized. You have know your clients. We want to be friendly with the governments. We don't want to get sued and stuff like that. And honestly, well, why don't you just run it on Web 2.0 then? Wouldn't it be the same exact thing? I mean, transactions on Visa are already fast enough for shopping, and that's why everybody shops using Visa, right? Hosting on Amazon Web Servers is amazingly fast. It's speedy. I mean, there's other even GoDaddy has hosting, and it's pretty fast. Most of these people use solid state drives and are pretty good. So what is the point? Like, why do people use crypto? I think people use crypto mainly and primarily because they're scared that their money is going to get shut down by some pissed off corporation, by banks, by government entities. Some of this normal people that want privacy, and I assume some of it are bad people that are probably doing bad things. But nonetheless, like, do I want ICP to be more decentralized? Yes. Do I think that is where ICP is going at the moment? To be honest, I don't think it's going exactly at that, like, to that level. So we're gonna have to wait and see.
That is very well said, man. And it brings us, to think about where are people wanting crypto to go versus where it's actually heading. And what I want to contribute to that is the part of, do we want it to be super decentralized right now? And then have, like, somebody made a good point that BlackRock could come in and, buy a bunch of the voting power, and then therefore arrange some sort of like a Trojan horse or a hostile takeover of the governance of the crypto. So that's where you got to be careful of releasing it to too decentralized too fast, because you could be giving power to people that really shouldn't be having that much power just because they have the money to do it. Now, if we did it in kind of a rolling basis, how it becomes this more decentralized the further that we go. Say we get, and it is 1,300 node providers. I just looked it up, 6 figs. Okay. And so say we go from 1,300 node providers to 2,600 in the next couple of years, right? We more than double our node providers. And then maybe we go outside of the node providers into what you were talking about. Just anybody can run a node on their computer, right? That we set up or their phone. They set up a system where it allows anybody, like the Pi network, for example. That is something where people can just go on every day, press a mine button, and then boom, collect stuff. So if they did that, except opened it up to like nodes and rewarded them with ICP or whatever their bonuses are for people to do that, then you would get those people that would spend the 8 to 10 hours a day online. And then that would make it a more decentralized in the aspect of nodes, at least, right? So that brings us to our next topic, and let's go right back into this. Before we do that, I just wanted to shout out fake news right here. Thank you for that $10. I normally jump up and I'm like, yeah, but when somebody else is talking, that's kind of hard to do. So thank you, bro.
I got excited for you. There you go.
You did, bro. Thanks. You got my back, bro. I appreciate that. All right. So the next one we kind of talked about as well, the boundary nodes, and that's just going to kind of be along the same lines. It says there are a limited number of boundary nodes right now, and all IC traffic flows through the boundary nodes. We need to increase the number of boundary nodes to allow anyone to host one. And so that is where we get more in depth to the nodes, but I think we'll kind of move past that. Now, this part I wanted to talk about, though. Protocol changes in NNS are too centralized. Now, with follower relationships, Dfinity owns basically all protocol change power. So Dfinity can push whatever they want whenever they want. I want multiple independent entities working on the protocol and more diversity in followers. Now, to speak directly on this, I agree, but I disagree. Now, what I want to say about that is eventually, okay? That's my outlook on it. Eventually, yes, we are going to want more of a community-focused governance, right? We want more active, like big-time companies, like that build on the IC, like DSquad, like they become a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And then they're multi-billion. Then they're providing lots of liquidity to the ICP, and their influence becomes stronger in the community. So now you have people that want to join the Dfinity community, following them on what they do in their governance. So what it does is it takes the people already in deep into the ICP ecosystem, and it makes them leaders to all of the other smaller entities, and that's what we need. We don't need some outside influences coming in and just dictating and doing whatever they want. So Decentralized community, I don't know if that's true or you're ever going to do that. I'm just saying, for instance, you guys. So I'd like to see what you guys think about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if Dfinity Community is going to do that. I would love to see Dfinity Community and DSquad become a $1 billion organization. That would be great. But I will say this: when I first researched ICP, well, at first I was in a trading group and some guy was like, "Hey, there's a new coin, I'm gonna buy it," and I was like, "Me too," because I just got in there and it was like $300 or something. No, I think it was like 400. I waited for it to go to 300, and I thought I was so smart. And then I think I sold some at a little bounce, but once it went down more, of course I exited a lot of my positions. But once it went down more, I was like, what even is this? Like, why is there so much volume? Like, what the heck is it? So I started researching and reading, right, just like I did with Bitcoin a long time ago. And one of the videos that I watched was, and you guys are probably gonna laugh at this, was Coin Bureau's video, and he's a huge critic of the ICP, right? He talks a lot of, I don't want to say talks a lot of smack, but he talks a lot of smack about ICP. And he said all these things about how this organization is trying to take over the entire internet and they're going to put everything in these servers and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people got scared of ICP because of that. And I was like, dude, if they're going to take over the internet, I'm going to buy something. I want to own a piece of that internet pie, right? So I don't know. It might be the wrong motives, but in a way, and anybody watching this video, if you are scared of the ICP, or if you think the internet computer really is trying to centralize instead of decentralize the entire internet, buy a piece of it. Like it's $6, man, or six something. So buy votes. Like if this really is a big scary thing, right, and you're gonna have one organization, Dfinity, running everything or something, well, buy some shares, right? Like, what is $6? What is $50? And you get like 9 shares or something.
Yeah, look at Amazon.
Look at Amazon. You get to vote on what exactly is going to happen. So, assuming it is something dystopian or it is something, really bad, well, you have shares now. Like, you have a say. So, will that percentage ever be greater than Dfinity or some followers? I don't know, but I know ICP devs got a name Neuron, so they can follow them for votes. ICP Maximalist Network got a name Neuron, so you can follow them for votes. You can follow your own friends if you just input their number, right, for votes. You can vote however you want for votes. So I do think a lot of the shares are owned by Dfinity, and the ones that aren't owned by Dfinity are owned by these different organizations. So just look at what each organization wants. What do they do? If you just want a steady investment, follow the guy that votes the most. If you care about the network and the philosophy behind it, then follow the one that is going to vote as you want. If you have large sums of money, vote yourself. Honestly, read it and vote yourself every day or every whenever there's votes. But I do think as time progresses, I don't think Dfinity is going to hold on to all their bags. I do assume they are, of course, want to sell for more money. But I think as time progresses, there's going to be more people, and it's going to happen, right? It's not going to be just Dfinity, not only because they're, of course, going to need some capital because they're trying to raise money, but also because it looks bad, right? It looks bad that Dfinity has huge bags. So if they sell their bags, that's going to look good on the organization, and people that thought it was too centralized are going to start going in, and thus the price of ICP can go up a little bit more comfortably.
Man, well said, bro. Those are things I wouldn't even think about. That's why I love having diverse minds on here that are intelligent, man. So
thank you.
I can't wait for Six Figs to chime in now. What do you think, man?
Man, you know what? Part of me likes, if they've got so many shares and then they can control pretty much what goes on with the votes and stuff like that. Like right now, I'm okay with that. Over time, that stake that they hold is going to possibly lessen as they spend ICP to raise capital, things like that. My only worry at that point in time when ICP Foundation, or Dfinity, I should say the Dfinity Foundation, lowers their bag to a point where maybe some hostile sort of takeover could happen from like BlackRock or something. You know what I'm saying? And really take the thing in the wrong direction. So, I mean, it's just such one of those double-edged swords. I think I can say right now, I trust the foundation 100% with the way they are going, the way they handle their business, things like that. Over the course of time, I think it's bound to happen, especially once they get internet computer to this point where, hey, maybe, we're just going to check out and let the world build this thing into some amazing machine, with these crazy innovative thoughts and governance stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just really right now. I like the fact that they got a big bag. So that's kind of where I'm sitting at now with this. But
in a way, if they have the biggest bag, they have the biggest incentive to pump that bag. But
that leads to a good point, man. Go ahead and finish, and then I want to feed off of that.
Yeah, but something when I first bought ICP and when I first staked for 8 years, the thing that was on my mind, and I said, well, if there is Web 2.0 and Web 2.0 is already being centralized by server companies, by Microsoft Digital Services, whatever that's called, Amazon Web Services, and all of these big conglomerates, Google, right? They own a lot of the cloud computing power. So they already kind of have access to that. And you've heard stories of Amazon stealing kind of like the best content, even on their store, on Amazon store, stealing the best products and then making their Amazon version of it and messing with the data or taking out competitors and stuff like that. You've already seen those conspiracy theories. So if there is a sister network to Web 2.0, which is decentralized, it's actually more decentralized at this point than ICP, but a lot of conglomerates have huge chunks of it. Then once you move to Web 3.0 or using Dfinity, I think there's going to be a point to where every single human person on earth is going to want a vote in that, right? They're going to get interested and they're going to say, hey, well, why is this happening? I want to have a say in it. And at that point, there's only 400 something million ICP. How many human beings are there, right? I think at one point there's going to be a bunch of people that own one ICP just because they want to have a say in what's happening. Like, why is this happening? And everyone's going to have one vote. And a lot of us early guys, we're going to have a lot more votes than that. So, right. So again, definitely, if a vote is $6, why not buy a vote? And what could be the future of the internet, right? Of holding digital assets. You can own that freeway.
Yeah. And the thing is, going back to the governance and the Dfinity Foundation holding a bunch of, the tokens or whatever, they're the ones who started this project, right? So it's in their best interest to take it as far as it can go. They're not going to just like, oh, now it's time to shoot ourselves in our own foot and just kind of derail what we're doing here. No, they're going to have the best interest of the project. So yes, you can say it's centralized, but when a majority of an entity has control, yes, that is more centralized, but it is releasing that control as we go. Like month after month, they are making it more decentralized, easier to interact with other blockchains. And that's the next thing that we're going to talk about. A little off topic here, but Terabithia is a major milestone when it comes to cooperation with internet computer and other blockchains. And that is something that I would like to see is like maybe, big node providers from Ethereum or, Solana or something come and actually start providing nodes on the internet computer, start voting, start actually being active in the ecosystem, and then take it more from just a meta glue, like with, how they're interacting with like Solana and those other cryptos with meta glue. It would also be like kind of a governance glue as well, because each protocol would have the other protocol's best interest at heart if they're all voting on the governance. So as long as they roll it out time by time and like say we plan in 10 years to be 80% decentralized and 20% centralized, then they have a clear focus on where to go. I know that's not possible right now, but I see in the future, in like the next 10 years, they're like, okay, in 2030, we're going to be 80% centralized, and 2035 will be 90%. And then as far as you can go with that. So my question to you guys, though, is how do you think that other blockchains can benefit the internet computer as a whole, not only just as a crypto, but as a entity that wants to become decentralized? Do you think partnering with other cryptos will help that? Or do you think that that would push it to a more centralized type of crypto?
I think that, when we start talking about like the interaction with other blockchain, I think it would probably be in the best interest of these other crypto projects to interact with ICP, really, because we're seeing, the fact that it's 100% on chain, and that might help some of these other blockchains somehow attain more decentralization within themselves, just by, this interaction that takes place. I think it would be in the best interest in the long run if if the crypto world is just all kind of connected, just like all the countries are connected via internet, but we get all these blockchains that are just all connected together, interacting with each other. I think that really that would provide a lot of fruit for both parties and their users of of those ecosystems, stuff like that. I think it would be a good thing. I don't know who would benefit more right now.
And what blockchain do you think would benefit the most from it right now or in the future, close future?
Probably Ethereum.
That's what I would say too.
Yeah, that would be my guess. That would solve a lot of issues, really, that they have high gas fees, all that junk. So
yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be more decentralized or more centralized. In a way, you have one network, and now you have two networks, right? So that's de facto more decentralized. But like you said, a lot of the nodes are owned by only a couple of people. So that would go. So for example, if once Bitcoin integration happens and Bitcoin runs on the internet computer, I don't think that's making Bitcoin more decentralized. I think Bitcoin is already more decentralized. Do I think it's going to make it faster? Yes. Do I think it's going to make it more efficient? Yes. Do I think it's going to add a lot of features and a lot of value to Bitcoin? Yes. And I think Bitcoin is going to benefit greatly from those benefits, right? Fast transactions, that's taking Bitcoin ahead like 15 years, right? And it's going to end vice versa, right? Liquidity in ICP markets from Bitcoin liquidity. Imagine Bitcoin whales with $400 million Bitcoin accounts, and they go into Entrepot, right? And they can buy our NFTs, or they can participate within those communities without having to pay 40, 50, 80, whatever dollars in gas fees. And I think that's going to be huge for both communities, right? More speed for Bitcoin, more liquidity for the ICP ecosystem. But do I think it's going to make it more decentralized at the moment? No, I can't say that. The only thing that could make me change my mind on that is if we do get a Badlands network or something similar, to where just almost anybody can run, at the very least, some specific nodes. I think specifically the most important one are going to be not just the nodes that run the websites. I would like to see the websites run fast and smooth, but something that runs transactions and holds assets. Currently, a lot of canisters on the internet computer are, and I don't know if I'm saying the correct technical terms, but I think they're called mutable canisters, which means you can change them. So we saw some issues, and I can't remember what project it was. I think it was ICP Land or whatever. And some people, some users were reporting that they had 10,000 tokens, and then during an update, they had 3,000, and then they had 10,000 again, and there was like a form they had to fill out. And what I'm saying is, that's like worse than digital bank, central bank digital currencies, right? So the person who has the keys or the access to the mutable canister, like a canister that you can change, can kind of like change it, right? That's why it's mutable. They can mutate it or whatever. And I would like to see immutable canisters, right? You can't change them. And from what I've read, again, I'm not the most technical person, but I've read that you have to throw the keys into like a wormhole or something, and then or send the keys to a DAO, and then the DAO is ran by the community or something. But I would like to see more of that on the internet computer, because it is scary that the team not only can they rug you, because a lot of these have good tokenomics, right? The team doesn't hold a lot of the tokens, so I would invest, and I do invest in these tokens,
like
right?
Ghost.
Yeah, like Ghost, the land token, and some others that are coming. So it kind of goes like, do you trust the team? If you don't trust the team, and it doesn't even have to be bad intentions. It could be an accident. It could be, I don't know, a team member goes rogue. Maybe he didn't get paid on time or something, and he's like, well, I'm going to delete the token, right? Any small things like that, like it's mutable, right? It can be changed. So I think that's a concern.
That's a huge point
that we have to address. So because I'm dealing in not very large quantities in these tokens, I don't worry too much about it. But if I was some investor with $400 million or something like that, I would definitely worry, be like, well, the team can just delete my token, right? I don't think anybody's figured out a way to delete Bitcoin thus far, right? And that's why people trust it.
And I think that's a lot of along the lines of what Bob Bodily was trying to say here. How can we make this a better place? And I was just trying to find a good topic. It isn't just about centralized versus decentralized. I just thought that was a good starting point for us to kind of open up this discussion. And I agree with what you're saying. We need more, trustless things that are happening, like canisters that can do the whole transaction instead of having somebody that can go in and just code, something different. So that is one thing that I think Internet Computer is working on. I think it has to become a standard, though. We can't just like let some people do it and then, just because they have good morals, and then other people are like, yeah, we're gonna, have an exit scheme out of here.
I think you'll find that I'm the biggest fan of ICP, but I'm also the biggest critic, right? I'm not
That's good sometimes though, man. Like we need more constructive criticism in the space. I think people are afraid to speak their mind. So you being able to, stick up for what you believe in a respectful way is more than needed in this community, bro.
And I say all of these things while being 8-year gang. Like I'm invested in ICP, and I believe in ICP. Right? I like ICP
100%.
But I'm still gonna criticize it just a little tad bit every now and then.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're gonna be in it for 8 years or longer, you're gonna want your say heard, and you're gonna want these valid concerns addressed. So like,
exactly.
I get it, man. I'm
that 1% no vote when it's like 99.9%.
Oh no,
no, I'm gonna vote no just because I can.
He loves the underdog. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Cool. I think let's just take one last kind of overview of this tweet over here, and then we'll kind of get your guys' final opinions on it, and then we'll just kind of wrap it up. We've been on here about a half hour, so. Let's just kind of hear your final thoughts about it. Look at this one more time, and then we're good. So I just want to shout out Bob Bodily. I almost was going to reach out to him to have him on the channel because this is just really good stuff. He's the same way. He actually works for Tonic Labs, so he's a big ICP supporter. But we want this to be the best project possible, right? So I agree with a lot of the stuff that he's saying on here. This was another one I wanted to touch on. Protocol leadership is too centralized. And what I was talking about, like having Vitalik Buterin or other big influencers in the space that are trusted to be a part of the leadership protocol, right? So that is something I think he hit on a good point here. And then he starts talking about the more BTC ETH gets sent onto the IC, the greater the incentive for node providers to collude to get private keys and steal funds. We need more. We need much better security to protect these funds held with subnet private keys. And like Victor was just talking about, the black hole, kind of throwing your private key away so that it's trustless, right? We want these canister smart contracts to do everything, so nobody needs to be trusted. So, and then getting started as an IC dev is too hard. This is why I've tried to onboard a few people to ICP. They need to somehow get like C++, instead of only Rust to be converted to Motoko, or make some kind of onboarding for devs who don't know Rust or other protocols that they can start as an IC developer as well. So, and then one last thing, I don't want to have to think about multi canister or multi-subnet scaling. He's talking about no easy way to scale a database. And that is the whole part of the internet computer. It has to be scalable to the entire world. The entire world is about 7 billion people. There's only 400 million tokens. Like Victor was saying, not everybody can even own one. But he just wants to be able to throw data at a smart contract and have it scale efficiently forever. This should be our goal, and anything less is a miss. That retweet all day, baby. Okay. Now, I just want to get your guys' kind of final thoughts on this whole tweet, this whole kind of idea that we're in a good place right now with ICP, right? But we could be in a better place in the future as long as we all take these things into consideration. We use our power from being 8-year gang and having that voting power. We put it to use. We find 10 people that believe the same way as us. And, we start voting for what we want, and we trust that the leadership is going to do the same until we become more decentralized. And I trust Dom. I trust the team. They've brought us this far. The quarterback isn't going to purposely miss a touchdown pass, right? So that's the way I look at it. All right, guys, just kind of give your final thoughts on all of that I was just talking about, and just kind of where you stand on it.
Yeah, I'll go. So, it's... I don't think that Bob means anything ill by the tweet. I'm very glad that he put it out there. It was a great conversation starter for the entire community. I think everybody saw that tweet, and it really kind of opened your eyes to maybe some of the problems that we might be experiencing down the line, some problems that we just haven't really thought about or just have not opened our eyes up to. So his perspective was very unique, thought out, and very well written. I think the Dfinity team, like you said, I trust in them. They seem to be doing everything right. They seem to have all the people in the right spots. They seem like they are just craving innovation and stuff like that. So I feel good about my investment. I don't lose sleep.
Yep, for sure.
Overnight with Dfinity. I don't care if the price goes down to $4. I'm not losing sleep because I'm in this for the long haul. And I think people that are seeing that long-term vision of Dominic and the whole leadership team and the community, will agree with that. That's about all I got.
Cool, man. Thank you for your insight, man. I just love to hear other people's opinions. I know, like, kind of all three of us were on the same kind of, thought process and side on the thing. I would like to open the discussion to people that have constructive criticism. Like, Victor had some, but maybe even a little push that envelope even further. So if you guys can think of someone, or Victor, if you want to really get out there with that, because I like to see different people's perspectives, even only if it's constructive, though. Like, I don't want anyone coming over here and just bad mouthing ICP, but if they have like stuff like that, push it to the edge, make us better. push us to be a better community, right? So what do you think about that, Victor?
I'm gonna butt in here.
Okay.
Here just a second. The next thumbnail to the next live stream is gonna be like the nuclear explosion going off and then the Dfinity logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
No,
it, dude.
if
Blown up in Dfinity.
I'm just kidding.
The real truth. No,
I'm not that harsh on them.
I think the main point of ICP is not just decentralization or privacy or anonymity. You already have cryptos for that, and if you want the maximum privacy, you can get a privacy coin. I think.
True.
The only one I know is Monero, but I think I've read some people say that one's old and there's like new ones. And Bitcoin, if you want to have like the OG
Zcash, I guess.
Zcash or Immaculate Genesis as Bitcoin maximalists like to call it. But I think the point of ICP is not that, although I would like to see more of that. I think the point of ICP is Web3, which is digital ownership of assets, right? So you own a thing and you take it someplace else. So currently, every time you post something on Facebook, and this actually our next video is that what is Web3, and I'm gonna make it as simple as possible.
Good. We need that.
What is Web3? So right now, you go and you upload a picture on Facebook, and not only is it just on Facebook and on the Facebook servers, but even on the terms of contract, like they basically own that picture now. Like that's their picture. So all the stuff that you post belongs to them. It only goes there. Like I can't go on MySpace and click a button and have all my Facebook pictures go on MySpace, right? That's an example. I know nobody uses MySpace, but something like that, right? So on Web3, what the point is, you have a thing, right? Picture, music, audio. I don't know if there's going to be new things in the future. Like, I don't know if we invented JPEGs, I'm sure we could invent like smell pegs. I don't know, but I don't know. There's going to be like so many digital innovations. I'm sure things I can't even imagine that you can own digitally, right? And the point is you have him in one thing and you can put him on another thing, right? I go on ICPSwap and I buy tokens and they're immediately in my wallet. And I go on Stoic and I can Stoic wallet and I can see my ghost tokens on Stoic wallet. I purchase an NFT and I can see it here and I can also see it over here because it's all in the same place, right? So instead of having a lot of boxes, you have one big box and everything is inside that box, right? You can transport your digital property from one project to another, and the best way to do that is to have one single block of networks, and that's what the internet computer is, right? Instead of having a lot of little boxes, you have one big box, and in order to keep that decentralized, you separate the control of that one box by votes, right? So it's not just one guy who owns the big box, but it's a lot of little guys who own that big box. I think that's the point of Dfinity, and I'm also going to use that box analogy in my video. But I think that's the point, like owning digital things and taking them from one place to a different place while still having them and still belonging to you, without having those things like, well, no, we're Facebook, we don't want your I don't know, TikTok videos on here or stuff like that, right? It's just it's your data and you move it wherever you want, and it's yours, like tangibly. Or
the new internet, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what you just described.
That's right. It's simple to understand, like in boxes, right? Like a box, like it's one big box.
That was the simplest way I've ever heard it described, man. Just all of your stuff, like in your little box here, and here, all in the one. I mean, that and even a preschooler could understand that. So, I mean, internet computer is definitely going to be for the masses. That's the thing. And when everybody can understand a project and be like, okay, all I need to do is this, and this, to get in there, then we're winning right there. So keeping everything in one big box is a trader's dream. Especially you have like 20 different exchanges you use. Imagine if that was all in one app that you could trade all of your, 100,000, and that could be the internet computer. Who knows, right?
I think on the internet computer, a lot of people are building like these DEXs, decentralized exchanges, right? That are kind of similar to, like, I don't know what unicorn one.
Uniswap.
Uniswap or oh my gosh, I remember I bought that token for so cheap a long time ago. But anyway, so instead of having those things, I think you're gonna have like full-on Binances and FTXs on the internet computer where they don't hold your assets, right? Imagine having like a freaking like FTX and Binance. Imagine arbitrage. Like, oh my God, if I was a developer, I would be developing that right now. But imagine arbitrage on the internet computer with different exchanges, like similar to centralized exchanges, but they're not centralized anymore. And you can have your assets in your wallet, like hold your assets in your wallet with different interface. I think they would be called interface exchange. If anybody steals that from you, interface exchanges, right? So I just came up with that today.
Man, write it down.
Exchange.
If you didn't write it down, it's not real. No.
Yeah, I copyright that today. But interface exchanges that you can exchange your assets from your wallet, and you can have different ones, and you can arbitrage from them with one wallet. Like imagine that.
Sick.
Like that'd be so sick.
You can already kind of, because ICPSquad. I was just buying NDP over there, and then on Sonic it was like a bunch more money. So if I would have bought it on one, I could have already done arbitrage now. So that's already a thing. Yep.
Yeah. So arbitrage on like fully not there, because they're not like centralized exchanges, right? But arbitrage on interface exchanges. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I'd probably still get liquidated anyway, but liquidated in high tech.
Well, what would be nice is if you got exchanges to that level, like FTX, Binance, Coinbase, and let's just say, you could own your crypto while it's in, and use their exchange. You'd avoid big situations. Yeah, you'd avoid situations like the people at Voyager, the whole Voyager app that went bankrupt.
Yeah, people could have still gone in and got their
stuff. I hope to God that term catches on and somebody writes me a big check for interface exchange. Like
that's how I feel about the Bitcoin.
It's an interface to handle your own wallet. What would be the legal aspects of that? Like an interface to handle your own wallet. Like is it really an exchange if it doesn't hold any assets? Like,
well, wouldn't it make it decentralized at that point?
Yeah, but it's not. But it doesn't. But it's not going to look the same as like the swap exchanges. It's going to be like full on, like market orders, limit orders type of deal.
Hey, if you got a tech guy, get him on it real quick.
Yeah, that'd be so.
All right, let's go to the comments because there's a ton of comments here, guys. Let me just let me just do a couple at a time here. I want to shout out Meta Owl though, because he has followed me and like given us some love over there on District a lot. So go follow Meta Owl on District. That's why he's on here. He's a good homie of mine, and just want to show him love. So let's go to any questions or comments about the guys here. They say, hello, everyone. Okay. Any good comments here? You got the podcast voice, they said. I don't know who Marcos Jimenez is, but I guess I have a podcast voice. So.
Oh, Marcos. What's up, Marcos?
You know Marcos?
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, they want the 8-year gang hat, guys. If you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, DM me. DM me. I had this custom made, but my friend who is in China, actually, because a lot of people have problems shipping things. Like if you're in the US, it's easy to ship to the US, but not to like, I don't know, Mexico or Argentina. But from China, like he can ship anywhere. So if anybody wants one of these, send me a DM at Victor ICPSquad, and I'll send you one for like a couple ICP.
It's in the description below. Yeah. So just click on the link, boom, you go right to his
8-year gang for only $69,420 ghost tokens.
Nice. Oh yeah, and then Dead Man Walking likes it as well. So there's a few people in the chat that love it.
DM me. I'll send you one. Just cover.
And then here's one of my smart moderators. You guys should listen to what he says sometimes. He's a smart dude. I like him. Justin. He says every market has its own doomsday theorist. I like this guy. Okay. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody for coming here tonight. I want to thank you guys. Oh, Crypto Airborne was here too. Let's see what he has to say. They talk about centralized platforms and then having your own vault within the platform. So stuff like Voyager doesn't happen to us, aka me and a million others. Yeah, man, I think it's rotten what they did to you guys, man.
Yeah. Like imagine you have your wallet and the assets don't leave your wallet unless you place like a limit order or a market order or something like that. So if you have 1,000 ICP and you only want to place a sell order for 10 of them, you place the sell order and then it moves it to a temporary wallet. And then once it executes, it goes to the other person. But if it doesn't execute or something, you can make it go back to your wallet and then have some like small fees. You can do that because it's so cheap. The fees on ICP are so cheap. So
that's possible.
Hopefully someone will do it. Yeah, I mean, I understand like thought process of it. I have no idea how to actually do that on code, but if I did, oh my gosh, that would be the literally $1 billion idea. So,
you just gave a tech guy his $1 billion.
Oh gosh, no! You better write me a check, man. At least hire me.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
it's on video. I said it.
Yeah, he did right here at 44 minutes into it, right there. All right. I think we will take one more thing after this. I always thought about a centralized, decentralized exchange where you can buy everything, but you own your keys. That, or like it's like ICP does, and they put it in a black hole, so nobody has the key except the actual, like protocol. So that would be cool too. Go ahead.
Imagine some anon builds this, and then all the fees just go to like some wallet, and then from the wallet they go to. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't say this because then if somebody does it, they're gonna think it's me. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
It is. Hey, do not be fooled. Victor is actually a high level hacker. So
you're gonna
ICP is cool. UX is broken for Web3. Okay, ICP dApps need to come out with good UI and UX.
You can just send the profits to like Spinner app and then send them to your real wallet and just have like money forever from fees.
It'll cost you 5 billion ghost tokens. One of them. Okay, he says that's the main roadblock for Web3 right here. So the UI and UX. I'm not a tech guy, so I don't understand really what that is.
That's true. And talking about blowing up that bomb, and I know you're trying to keep it short, but one of the things I like Discover is such a cool website.
I love it.
But something that bothers me, like every time I want to type something, I have to first I have to find where I want to post it, and then after that I have to put like a title, and then after that I have to put a text. That's like 3 different things. Like I'm lazy, dude. I want to click like one thing, not 3 things.
If you put your link, it'll put the title in it. So do the link first, and it will automatically put the title in for you.
Yeah, I don't know. I consider myself pretty tech savvy, and if I'm getting frustrated, I can't imagine some normie just they probably would just not use the website.
Yeah, I'm not super smart, but I'm pretty tech savvy. I can get around and I can navigate 95% of the internet computer. And so I'd say a normal person could probably navigate about 85 to 80%, right? So that's still pretty good. Like a normal person, well, I mean, I'm giving people credit here.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm at 25%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm trying to be nice. So yeah, I think you guys made some really good points, stuff that I wouldn't even think of. I would love to have you guys on the channel again, and I'd love to be on your channels. Let's kind of get like a rolling, collaboration going on where we go from this channel to this channel and just get a massive audience, guys.
I'd love that. Yeah.
That'd
absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to let you guys sign off. So go ahead, 6 Figs.
Goodbye and good Bitcoin.
Yes, we all do it at the same time.
All righty. Thank you guys for having me. It was an honor. Your channel is great. Your viewers are great. So I hope I get to see you guys more and do more collabs.
I look forward to it.
Buy a good Bitcoin.
Yes. All right, guys. That being said, you know what time it is. Goodbye and good Bitcoin. Bang! Victor got out quick.